citizens of the Imperium. This broadcast has been prepared by the Administratum Educational Division to provide accurate information regarding the Xenos species classified as Eldari, commonly known as Eldar. This information is provided not to alarm, but to educate. Knowledge ensures order. Understanding prevents confusion. The Imperium does not act from ignorance. Every decision, every policy, every protective measure taken on your behalf is supported by comprehensive data. Today, we share a portion of that data with you. Please direct your attention to the following educational material. The Eldari are a humanoid Xenos species of considerable antiquity. Physical examinations conducted by the Departamento Biologists reveal the following characteristics worthy of notation. Height averages between 1.8 and 2.1 meters. Skeletal structure is elongated, lending a graceful appearance that should not be mistaken for fragility. Musculature is refined rather than robust. Facial features are angular, with pronounced cheekbones and almond-shaped ocular organs. Cranial capacity suggests advanced cognitive function. Their physiology demonstrates remarkable longevity. Individual specimens may persist for several centuries under optimal conditions. This extended lifespan represents a considerable advantage, one might observe. It is therefore instructive to note how little they have accomplished with it. Their sensory apparatus operates at levels exceeding baseline human norms. Visual acuity, auditory perception, and reflexive response demonstrate measurable superiority in controlled testing environments. Again, one might expect such gifts to yield proportionate achievements. One might expect this. The Eldari nervous system exhibits heightened sensitivity to external stimuli. This manifests as enhanced artistic appreciation, refined aesthetic judgment, and, unfortunately, pronounced emotional volatility. Advanced cognition without emotional discipline creates predictable difficulties, as their historical record abundantly demonstrates. The Eldari were once the dominant species in this galaxy. This is not Imperial propaganda. This is documented fact. Millions of years before humanity achieved spaceflight, the Eldari had already constructed an empire spanning millions of worlds. Their technology commanded forces we are still cataloging. Their influence was absolute. They had no rivals, no threats, no limitations except those they imposed upon themselves. This should be acknowledged. Their achievement was real. Their civilization reached heights that warranted study. They had eliminated material scarcity. They had conquered disease, aging, and physical limitation. They possessed the resources, the knowledge, and the time to build something permanent. They chose otherwise. What follows is not speculation. It is established historical record, verified through multiple independent sources, including their own surviving accounts. The Eldari, having solved every external challenge, turned inward. Having mastered their environment, they began exploring the boundaries of experience itself. Artistic expression became increasingly abstract. Philosophical inquiry grew more esoteric. Cultural pursuits intensified in both scope and extremity. This would be unremarkable except for one factor. They possessed no restraint. Over millennia, Eldari society became consumed by the pursuit of sensation. Every experience had to exceed the previous one. Every artwork had to transcend its predecessor. Every performance, every ritual, every act of creation or destruction had to push further into uncharted territory. Technological refinement, lacking moral restraint, produces foreseeable results. The precise mechanisms of their downfall remain classified at higher clearance levels. What may be stated for citizen education is this. The Eldari indulged themselves into catastrophe. Their civilization did not fall to external conquest. It was not destroyed by natural disaster or resource depletion. The Eldari annihilated themselves through excess. In a single event, their empire ceased to exist. Trillions perished. Worlds burned. The species that had dominated the galaxy for millions of years was reduced to scattered remnants in the span of moments. This occurred approximately 10,000 years ago. They have not recovered. The surviving Eldari exist in 3 primary configurations, each representing a different response to their species' failure. The largest surviving population inhabits massive void ships called craft worlds. These vessels, constructed before their empire's collapse, now drift through space as mobile city-states. Each craft world houses millions of refugees from civilization that no longer exists. Craftworld Eldari have adopted rigid behavioral protocols intended to prevent repetition of their ancestors' mistakes. Every individual follows a prescribed path, a formalized discipline meant to channel emotional expression within safe boundaries. They are, in essence, attempting to impose structure on a species that proved itself incapable of self-regulation. Their technology remains impressive by most standards. However, Imperial analysis reveals a critical pattern. They innovate nothing. Every device, every weapon, every system represents refinement of pre-existing designs. They possess ancient knowledge. They do not create new knowledge. When encountered by Imperial forces, Craftworld Eldari exhibit inconsistent behavior. Sometimes they retreat without engagement. Sometimes they initiate hostilities without provocation. Occasionally, they propose temporary alliances against mutual threats, only to abandon these arrangements without explanation when circumstances shift. This unreliability has been documented across thousands of encounters spanning 10 millennia. It represents not isolated incidents, but species-level behavioral pattern. One cannot build lasting cooperation with partners who redefine their interests hourly. A smaller population rejected technological civilization entirely. These exodites inhabit feral worlds at primitive technology levels, deliberately abandoning their species' achievements in favor of agrarian simplicity. Rather than reform their civilization, they fled from it. Rather than exercise discipline while maintaining their capabilities, they chose regression. Imperial survey teams encountering exodite settlements report rustic communities existing in deliberate poverty. They ride domesticated reptilian beasts. They farm with pre-industrial techniques. They have chosen permanent stagnation as their solution to temporary excess. They are instructive as cautionary examples, but present minimal strategic concern. The third configuration will not be discussed in detail in this broadcast. Citizens require only the following information. Certain Eldari rejected all attempts at reform and instead intensified the behaviors that destroyed their empire. They exist in a pocket dimension sustained through methods we will not describe. Imperial policy toward this configuration is unambiguous. They are managed through appropriate containment measures. Eldari technology operates on principles that diverge significantly from Imperial standard template construct designs. Their approach prioritizes elegance over durability, sophistication over reliability, individual customization over mass production. Their weapons platforms demonstrate this philosophy. Effective but limited, complex to maintain, and difficult to replace. Their vehicles and spacecraft represent finite assets. When lost, they're not replaced. This creates an instructive strategic reality. The Eldari are spending finite resources they cannot replenish. Every battle diminishes them. Every loss is permanent. They are not building toward future strength. They are managing decline. Time favors the Imperium. All Eldari possess latent psychic ability to varying degrees. This is not an advantage. It is a liability they have failed to manage appropriately. Human psychers undergo rigorous sanctioning procedures. They are tested, trained, monitored, and when necessary, humanely managed. The Eldari rejected such prudent oversight. Instead, they developed obsessive spiritual practices meant to shield individual psyches from consequences their own excesses created. These are improvised solutions to self-inflicted problems. Imperial Psyker doctrine proves that psychic ability can be safely integrated into society through proper structure and oversight. The Eldari experience proves what occurs when such discipline is absent. Imperial forces have engaged Eldari units in 17,000 documented encounters across the last 10 millennia. Eldari military doctrine emphasizes mobility, surgical strikes, and rapid disengagement. This approach reflects strategic weakness rather than tactical sophistication. A strong power seeks decisive victory. A declining power seeks to avoid decisive defeat. Imperial losses are regrettable but acceptable. They are replaced. The Eldari do not replace what they lose. Mathematics favors endurance over elegance. Certain Eldari factions periodically propose cooperation with Imperial forces. These arrangements consistently serve Eldari interests while exposing Imperial forces to unnecessary risk. This pattern has repeated across 10,000 years. One cannot build lasting peace with partners who view cooperation as manipulation. An instructive exercise: compare Eldari artifacts from 10,000 years ago with contemporary examples. They are repeating themselves. This is not cultural continuity. This is creative exhaustion. The Eldari serve the Imperium in one crucial capacity. They are a lesson. They demonstrate what occurs when society abandons discipline. This was preventable. Every Eldari ruin stands as monument to failure. The Imperium observes and learns. We are what they could have been had they chosen differently. Imperial policy toward the Eldari serves three objectives: containment, documentation, and education. Citizens are advised to report sightings, avoid interaction, and follow established protocols. The Eldari are a managed variable. They are monitored. They are categorized. Further concern is unnecessary. History remembers failure more clearly than pride. The Imperium endures because it learns. What the Eldari were, humanity will never become. Return to your assigned duties. The Emperor protects.